So, Daniel, or should I say Santa,
Don't say that.
how did this all happen?
Yeah, so after the whole interaction with the mystical Christmas fairy last year, Santa came back to me in a vision of sorts, and a couple months later he showed up at my house and was like, "You have been chosen, my child." Oh yeah, and it was like all dark and there were flashing lights going around me. The whole thing was crazy and kind of scary too. But he said he wanted to pass the title of Santa down because I was worthy or something. So after all that, my life continued like normal, but after a while I started noticing white hairs, getting a craving for cookies and milk, especially milk. Of course, if you drink that much milk and cookies, you start gaining weight, and I gained 58 pounds in 3 months. I'm not proud of it, and it got so bad that my parents actually kicked me out of the house because I was eating so much. They were like, "We raised a responsible young man, not some fat, white-haired hobo that waddles around." And they said all that in Spanish, so, As you can imagine, the occupation of Santa doesn't really make that much money. Even malls don't appreciate the real Santa sitting at a random Macy's. I did a lot of things, but none of them gained traction, so eventually I was left in the streets. Things got rough for me, but I stayed hopeful that this whole Santa thing would take me somewhere, and eventually it did, yeah. And I learned that people wanted to hear my story, so I started a podcast where I talk about my experiences and struggles with Santa. Eventually it got big, and now I'm here, getting my own documentary. In my head I'm like, wow.
Wow. What a beautiful story.
Are those real tears?
So, what exciting things are you planning on doing in the future?
Well, who knows? I mean, I've already done a cooking show. That turned out, I did some food reviews. But, I've always wanted to make a Christmas album.